with two roads before us. How shall we know whether the right road or the left road will lead us to our destiny?
You spoke of chance, grandfather, as if such a thing was certain to exist. In the matter you speak of, destiny, there is no such thing as chance. For whichever way we choose, right or left, it must lead to an end. And that end is our destiny.
Quite so many of you that arrived today. Some people I haven't seen in quite a while. Last Saturday, for those of you that were present, you're fully aware that the topic was religion and mind control. I'm going to take the spin off on that topic because at this point in time, we are being controlled by religion. And a lot of you do not, well, many of us do not realize that state and church are the same thing. There is no difference between the two. Government and state are very much different, but church and state are one and the same game going on. Now, when it comes to the science, Q advised you that I was going to reveal a science. And the reason I'm going to reveal the science that I'm going to reveal is because it is this science that has killed my people. Our people are losing a war because we're not fighting. Many of us are not fighting because we don't even realize we are at war. And those of us that do realize we're at war, we're losing even though we're fighting because we do not fully comprehend the terms and conditions of the rules of the game. In order to understand the terms and conditions, you have to understand the terms. When you understand the terms, the conditions and the rules will fall into place. So the science that I'm going to break down and expose for you today is terminology. That's right. And the terminology, many of us learned about terminology and what have you, but we really did not learn what we should have learned in school. I didn't learn what I should have learned in school, and I worked for over 10 years in the school district, and I've never seen it taught what we need to know. The first thing that I want to bring out is word value. One must understand or overstand the value of a word. According to scripture, for those of you that are biblically inclined, 1 John 1 and John 1, in the beginning was the Word. They are killing us with the Word. We are losing our lives, our freedom, our children, our court cases, our property, and everything with these words that we don't understand and we don't comprehend. One of the things that I want to point out about a word is what a word is. Now, I was supposed to have an overhead projector that would have helped me tremendously with this point, but since I do not have that, I'm going to have to kind of rewrite much of what I already wrote. According to any good, and those of you that were here Tuesday, or was it Saturday, I think I advised you that you should make every attempt to bring a Bible and a dictionary. If you don't have a dictionary, I have several. If you want to grab one, it's up to you. But the definition of word is literally verbum, which means name. In the beginning was the Word. The word word literally means name, so in the beginning was the name. In order for you to understand what that means, you have to understand where words are, where you can find a word and what a word really means to you. In order to comprehend that, one should understand a very important term that I taught to my sister Carlotta here, and she actually did a presentation for her paralegal classes and got a splendid A. This word you guys should look up in any kind of dictionary you have. The reason this word is so critical is because I accidentally tripped. I knew what the word thesaurus means, But I did not understand or comprehend the full extent of the meaning of the word thesaurus until I tripped over it in the Black's Law Dictionary. It is in the Black's Law Dictionary that you will thoroughly comprehend how seriously vital a word and the meaning of a word is. Now, according to regular dictionaries, I don't care what it, Random House, Webster's, whatever you may have along the lines of a regular dictionary, a thesaurus is defined as a treasury and a treasure. Now, a regular dictionary also says that a thesaurus is any synonym or antonym finder, any dictionary, and any expanded reference work. That doesn't seem like it means very much, but when you look at the definitions of thesaurus in Black's Law Dictionary, which is the dictionary that all lawyers use when they're dealing with everything out here, then you come to find out the validity of the terms. It would have been so much more helpful had I had this overhead projector, but I don't. Before I expand on Black's Law definition of thesaurus, and I think there were 5 or 6 different definitions, I want to cover treasure and treasury. Now, I'm not going to rewrite this because it's too small for you to see, but treasure is defined as wealth, rich materials, or valuable things. Wealth or riches stored or accumulated. Anything greatly valued or highly prized. Now, a thesaurus is a treasury, and in a treasury is a treasure. What a lot of us do not comprehend is we're struggling for finances and we're struggling for money, and all the wealth you need is probably already in your house, but you're not looking in the right places for this information. Now, a treasury is a place for the preservation of treasure or valuable objects. It's also a collection or supply of excellent or highly prized writings and works of art. Now, having let you know a little bit more about what a treasure and a treasury is, let me give you a couple of the very profound meanings I found for thesaurus in Black's Law Dictionary. As a matter of fact, let me open up the book instead of trying to look at my doodles here on the transparencies.
What edition is that?
This definition is in 5th, 6th, and 7th. It may be in previous editions, but I have not seen them. The one I am looking in is 5th. My sister has 6th, same definitions. My other sister has 7th, same definitions.
It's not in here.
Huh?
Not in the bridge.
Is that a law? Is that Black's Law?
Is there an unabridged and an abridged 7th?
Unfortunately, I'm not an expert on West Publishing Company, so I really couldn't tell you if there are any variations. But I don't know why it's not in yours. Let me give you a couple of the first, actually I'm going to give you all of them, but I'm going to give them to you one at a time. Many of the individuals that are present here this evening are fully aware that we are Moors. Some of us realize that that means something. Being a Moor means, well, those of us that have come to comprehend what being a Moor is about and what has been taken from us, we realize that we have millions and millions and millions of dollars that have been stored and stolen from us. The whole continent, North, Central, and South America, have also been stolen from us. But Black's Law tells you how and why. One of the things that we as a people have forgotten to remember, and I guess that's because we've been lied to for so many years, is who the enemy is, what they use to beat us down with, how they did it, and how they're still doing it. That is where the religion and the mind control comes in. But first, let me give you some of these splendid definitions of thesaurus. I really wanted to write these down because they're so lengthy. The first one is thesaurus absconditus. And it says, it's in Old English law, treasure hidden or buried. Can everybody hear me out there? All right. Now, when you talk about a treasure that's hidden or buried, whose treasure? Hidden from whom? And buried where? Now, comprehend this. We already understand that the word thesaurus means treasure and treasury. We already understand what treasure is. Quite a few valuable things, valuable writings, and so on. We also realize that a treasury is any dictionary, any synonym finder, or any expanded reference work. Now, this is what really flipped my lid when I saw this definition. Now, I may not read this exactly because my Latin is not splendid, I'm going to tell you now. But it says here, thesaurus compite domine regi non domino liberati nese si per verba specialia. Now what that means is a treasure belongs to the king and not to the lord of a liberty unless it be through special words. What's up with that? For me, that sent me tripping. Now, in order for you to understand and comprehend what I mean when I say that, you have to understand who the king is and who the Lord of the liberty is. We, as Moors, are the lords of the liberty. The king is the one that has our treasure through special words. And it has always been said, anytime you want to hide anything from so-called black people, put it in a book, stick it on a shelf, because they won't go there.
Well,
Now, I'm going to break that down a little further with the same Black's Law Dictionary to let you know just how profound they did us with this game they're playing on us.
Okay.
Thesaurus inventus is an Old English law. It says treasure found and treasure trove. A treasure trove is a found treasure that is claimed to have an owner that's unknown. Now that doesn't mean much until you look at the next definition. This next definition is, and it's a little lengthy, thesaurus inventus est vetus dispositio, my bad, pecuniae, etc., cujos non extat modo memoria audio ut fam dominium no habeat. What that says here is treasure trove is an ancient hiding of money, etc., of which no recollection exists, so that it has no owner. Now we already understand and comprehend that they hid a treasure through special words. The king has a treasure that is not his unless it's his through these special words. Now, I'm going to take it a little step further. It also says here, and this one blew my mind, really though. Thesaurus non compiti regi nisse quando nemo sici abscondic thesaurus. That means treasure does not belong to the king unless no one knows who hid it. Now, that doesn't seem like much either for those that are kind of new to this whole Moor game and how everything was taken. But for those that comprehend what I'm saying, it starts to add up and make a little bit more sense. And if it doesn't, by the time I close this evening, it should make plenty of sense. Now, the next definition of thesaurus, which is the last one I'm going to give you, is thesaurus regi est vinculum passi et bellorum nervos. And that means the king's treasure is the bond of peace and the sinews of war. So, the king's treasure is only the king's because somebody doesn't remember that it exists. Somebody doesn't know who hid it. And if you don't know who hid it and that it exists, then you don't even know that somebody has something that belongs to you. And what's worse is you don't know that it was only hidden through words, special words. This whole continent, your life, your freedom, your existence, your land, your bank accounts, your everything you own, your descendants and all that have been taken through words with your names and the game of terminology that has been played on us. Is it possible that someone can get me something along the lines of a tissue or a Kleenex so I can wipe this? I want to break down a couple of little basic terminology rules that you should seriously comprehend in order for you to get how this game was played. Thank you, darling. I appreciate you, James. Love you, man. Love you. All right. Now, for some of you, this is a science that's not new, and it's going to be old hat for you. But if you're like most of us, you went through these public fooling systems, and you didn't get the real deal, okay? And I can only speak from my experience as having been one thoroughly fooled in the system and one that was working as a fooler in this system. In order for you, now this is the problem that I found with dictionaries in schools. When you are at a school and you want to look something up and you want to expound on it, the dictionaries that they provide are very, very inadequate, to say the least. Meaning, they never have expanded definitions. They never have the root and etymology of a word, because when you get into the etymology, then you're getting into the terminology, and then you don't get played with these words. Now, my dictionaries, and I've bought several different kinds, and I would like to advise as many of you as possible, when you're spending your money, buy more dictionaries. Any kind of dictionary you can get your hand on. I don't care if it's a Bible dictionary, a Jewish dictionary, a Hebrew dictionary. Webster sucks, but okay. Random House College is better, but they're out of print. Satan's dictionary, whoever's astrology, get it all. Because they buried this stuff all over the place. In order for you to comprehend, you must learn first about these two magic things, which are never in school dictionaries. In order for you to have a serious comprehension of any term, you must find the brackets in the definitions. One of the things that's wrong with the schooling, because the dictionaries don't have this, you haven't been taught to look for these. Some of us already know, we found out one way or another, but a lot of us don't. When you find these brackets, it is within the brackets that you will almost always find the truth. I say almost because, you know, they work for the beast too. And I'm going to point out by the time we close who the beast is and where the beast is, because I think we don't know. Now, within these dictionaries, it will always have a breakdown of the root of the word you're looking up and how to go about it. Now, this is how they buried it from a lot of my people. We've been taught, you look something up, you look at definition 1 and 2, that's pretty much it. You figured out that you kind of think you know what the word means. However, if you keep reading, when you get all the way to the very bottom, after like the 22nd definition, way down buried, you will find these brackets, and it is in there that you will find the real deal. Now, there are a couple of things that I need to make sure you comprehend, and I know I'm standing in the way of some of you. I-E, I period, E period. Whenever you see that, that means that is, or that is to say, or by that we mean. Okay? Whenever you see E period, G period, that means for example. Whenever you see A-K-I-N, that means it's akin to or the same as. Now, I'm going to blow y'all away today. I know y'all sitting here thinking, okay, we don't want to sit in school, but you need to sit in school before I move on. M-E, Middle English. M-F, Middle French. And for those of you that do not know, French is German. MG, Middle German. OHG, Old High German. LL, Lowered Latin. Now, a lot of you already know that Latin was our original language. Okay, people that are so-called black. Okay? Regular L is Latin. VL is vulgarized Latin. Now, y'all looking at me like, where is she going? Stay with me, because it's going to get deep.
Your projector's here.
CF,
The projector's here.
the projector's here? Oh, splendid. Thank you.
Everybody stand.
CF means compare it to. So anytime you see a word like dog and it says CF, mongrel, that means compare it to mongrel. So go look up mongrel and make the relation. Now, OE, Old English. Now I'm not going to give you guys every single one because I don't want to bore you to tears. D is Dutch. I'm just giving you the primary, most important. GK is Greek. ML, by now you guys should figure this out. Middle Latin. And I'm going to stop. I'm going to give you two more. Well, I'm going to give you three more. OL is Old Latin. NL is New Latin. The last one I'm going to give you is HEB, which is Hebrew. The reason I wanted to give you these things is because these are the things that you will find in these brackets, and when you get down there, you better know what these things mean or you won't know what you're doing. Now, having shared that information with you, I need to bring you to another point. Those are just called pointers. Yeah, they're like grammatical pointers. They're abbreviations for you to...
Now, that's where the word derived from. It was taken from Old English. You know, when the first word first come into being, as they recorded it.
Right. That is what they are, but I think he's asking what you call all of them as a whole.
Are those in the dictionary though?
Yeah, those will always be in the dictionaries within those square brackets that I just showed you. Okay? Now, having gone over that, let me try to stay on my point here. Now that takes us all the way back to this peace and war game. Remember, I got up here and I started out by saying we're getting our butts kicked in this war because we don't know we're at war, and those of us that realize we're at war, we're trying to fight, and we don't have the terms and conditions of the rules together. Now, in order to get the conditions and the rules together, you must understand the terms. We don't comprehend the terms because we were never taught the science of terms or terminology. Now, when I'm breaking this down so that you guys can thoroughly see the religious game that's being played on us and how this religious game was played, I want to bring out these few things right here. You have government, which a lot of you guys think is state, and it's not. And then you have church, and a lot of you guys think that church and state are different, and they're not. Then you have the king. Who is the king? Then you have the Lord of liberty. Now, I'm not going to be able to break that down as well as I'd like to because my sister Nova, when she came to pick me up, and I was terribly running late, when she arrived, I was still in my pajamas, I'm sorry to say, and it was 4 o'clock. But she said, make sure you double check and make sure you have everything. Well, I got everything. And now that I'm standing here, I realize I don't have everything. Because what I failed to bring was a constitution. Now, a lot of you have not, well, maybe you have. Many of us are not aware or don't comprehend the Constitution and how it really came to be. So I'm going to give you a brief breakdown on how the Constitution came to exist. Then I'm going to move you forward so that I can take you back. Now, way back in the day, when so-called Columbus was supposed to have arrived here, and the reason I say so-called and supposed to have, I don't even know if the man exists. I'm starting to doubt that he was even real. And I'm really starting to doubt that anybody with that name landed on this continent. However, when he got here and he stepped on shore, if he stepped on shore, the people that he looked out and saw looked like us, so-called black people. Now, in his story, which is history, which is nothing more than buried mystery, which is my story, they changed names, they changed the faces, and they lightened everything. And they did a trading places, and they flipped the script on all of it. Now, when this dude landed on this continent, he looked out, he saw yo people. And brothers were no joke. Y'all, my brothers and sisters are no joke today. And we are at the bottom of society for the most part. You guys were really no joke back then when you were ruling the world. Back in the day, this being the king now couldn't get into the Kemetic mystery schools and the Masonic orders and what have you, the secret societies, or so you speak, the secret schooling or mystery schools. One of the things that occurred is, as you all, well, as most of you know, the Moors were having their problems. You know us, we do trip on one another from time to time. And back in the day, we were tripping. Now these people took advantage of us tripping on one another, because as you know, a house divided can fall. While we tripping on one another with our little, who knows what the differences were, this being stepped in and launched their attack. Now we did stop tripping on one another long enough to deal with this attack formidably. But keep in mind that we hadn't resolved our own issues. Even though we stopped to try to fight this situation. If I'm fighting with this sister here and we pulling weave out and we got it going on and somebody else jump in on both of us, we might stop long enough to fight whoever jumped in, but I ain't through with you yet. Now, when this went down, you have to keep in mind that the being, and maybe I should, let me give you guys one little piece before I move on forward with that, because I know y'all gonna trip and y'all ain't gonna want to believe this unless I give it to you straight out of the Strong's Exhaustive Concordance of the Bible. This is approximately a $50 book. This is what you call the dictionary of the so-called Holy Bible. The Holy Scriptures, for those of you that do not know and for those of you that do, originated as ancient texts that were left by our ancient ancestors. Our ancestors left information scrolled in the paper, the papyrus. We left scrolled information or written information inside the pyramids, inside the Grand Canyons, inside the caves. Our people got story all over the place. Now back in the day, our people were kind of tough. I really don't want to scare you guys by telling you how tough we were. But when it comes to what some of you guys might call magic or witchcraft or psychic phenomena or whatever, our people were using that every day. I mean, that was it. For some of you that remember your grandparents and your great-grandparents, you know I'm right. Because sometimes you might go out and you do some mess that you know you ain't had no business doing, or you're doing something that you know you have no business doing, and you don't know how it is that they always know. It's like nobody called and told you, walk in the door and you can tell by the way they're looking at you. It's like, where you been and what you been up to? And you be like, but you busted. You know what I'm saying? Some of y'all know them grandparents that they just know when something's wrong. They just feel it. Something's wrong with their baby. You know, before anybody called from any hospitals or any police, alarms are going off inside of them. That is innate. You inherited that from your ancestors. But before I try to break down this creature, I want to give you a word that you guys, many of us think belongs to us. It does not. The word is Adam. This is not to be construed with A-T-O-M, A-T-U-M, A-B-A-M, and so on. A-D-A-M is not you. You are not Adam. You're not from Adam. That whole Adam and Eve business, y'all need to get that together. Now, Adam in this dictionary is word number 120. For those of you that have the book at home, look it up. I don't want you to take my word for nothing. Don't believe nothing I say. That's what's wrong with my people now. They believe everything they told, except when it comes from us. Now check this definition of Adam and tell me if you think it fits you. Adam is defined as ruddy, a human being, an individual of the species mankind, hypocrite, common sort, low, mean man of low degree, mean person. But that comes from word number 119. Word number 119 says, Adam shows blood in the face, gets flush, turns red and gets rosy. Does that apply to half of you sitting up in here? So don't think for 1 minute that you're Adam. Now that you kind of have some idea who Adam is, and those of you that want to verify, look, it's right there. When Adam stepped on this continent, and he looked out and saw the Moors, and who knows what they were calling themselves back in the day. They wasn't calling themselves no Indians, because my thing is this. If Columbus existed, the idiot was sent by Queen Isabella and Prince Ferdinand, or King Ferdinand, whatever you want to call him, to go to Africa to acquire some African slaves. He brings his butt to America, steps on shore and thinks he's in India, but he's going to Africa, but he thinks he's in India. And he starts calling everybody here Indians. Now, here's a key. If he named the tribe Blackfoot, it wasn't because their feet were dirty. What part of that y'all not getting? Wake up and read between the lies. People are lying to you. Now, even though everybody knows that India is in India and Indians are in India, for some reason people still keep calling these brothers Indians. What's up with that? Now, when he stepped on shore, and y'all, any of you guys that know about the brother King Montezuma know, brothers were living high in the hog. Gold, y'all were just draped in that kind of stuff. You know, you guys would make things with that. You would build things with that. You know, you just wear it as ornate jewelry. No one was using that as currency. You guys were living large. Other people were trying to catch up. So he gets here and he starts this war with you guys because you had your defenses down tripping on one another like we always do. And he said when the brothers went to fight back. Now keep in mind, Adam, for those of you that know, and I don't want to go into the whole Yakub experiment, or what is that, Darwin's theory of evolution? Because anytime you look in those books and you see Darwin's theory evolving, you don't see y'all. I'm serious. Now, they try to tell you, but y'all want to read between the lines. Now, we don't really want to go into the reptilians and what have you, because the reptilians are actually ruling Adam right now. But they started fighting, and the Moors put up a very splendid battle, as y'all always do. You know, y'all ain't nothing nice when you start warring and battling. Adam, being a new creature and a new creation, like all children, you know children, they don't fight fair. They don't fight by the rules. They don't do too much of nothing by the rules. They make up rules as they go. So, here's Adam. Y'all kicking serious butt. Adam starts doing a childlike thing. Adam starts killing the children. He also starts killing the sacred bison. Then he starts raping and decapitating, which means cutting off the heads of the sisters. And then he started scalping the brothers. Now in history, they'll tell you that we were scalping them. We weren't scalping them, they were scalping us. And the brothers was like, what's up? What is this? How are y'all fighting? But you know, when you're dealing with a child, you can't reason with a child sometimes. Finally, the brothers, and you know, sisters, we are very hard on our brothers. And you know, we have to kind of lighten up, because brothers paid a hell of a cost then, and they're paying a hell of a cost now, and they get very little respect from us as sisters for what they've done. Unfortunately, a lot of them don't remember what they did, but because the brothers could not deal with this type of warfare and this very vicious, bloody violence of attacking the women and children, which was not their kind of thing, they surrendered. They were like, hey. We give up. What's up? What do you people want from us? Now Adam let you know what he wanted. Adam was like, hey, y'all live in large, you know what I'm saying? Y'all living in palaces and draped in gold, and you got these big marble bathhouses and your harems of women all over. We want that too. We want to be able to have our own little government. We want a constitution. So the brothers drafted the Constitution for the United States of America Incorporated. It wasn't these people didn't get together and draft the Constitution. You have to keep in mind, you're dealing with a people that arrived here and they couldn't even feed themselves. You know what I mean? They were dying off from starvation after a couple of so-called Thanksgivings or whatever they want to call it. The brothers had to teach them how to just grow a little corn. It's like, look man, do it like this, okay? So, if they can't even feed themselves, they ain't swift enough to draft up something as tight as a constitution. The brothers drafted that for them. The brothers wanted to, because these people put their terms and conditions down, the brothers being very foresight, having a lot of foresight, what they decided to do was, at the time, they entreated to the Sultan of Morocco. So y'all don't even know some of us don't know we're standing on Morocco here. And the Sultan of Morocco put down the treaty for them. And the brothers created the United States and did the Constitution for the United States of America. That's why I'm sorry I forgot my Constitution. What I wanted to point out to you is the preamble of the Constitution. And it's very clear in there where the brothers are coming from and why they did what they did. Something along the lines of, we the people, and I mean we the people, that look like us. We the people, in order to, to form a more perfect union, that means we probably get along. Some people say that's a government thing, but no. And to try and establish some peace.
That the justice ensure domestic tranquility.
Go ahead, girl.
Provide for the common defense.
Go ahead.
Promote the general welfare and ensure the blessing of liberty for ourselves and our
posterity. Now, I know you guys didn't hear her. I didn't catch enough to repeat it all, but it was all about, we wanted a little liberty for us and our posterity. Most of us have been hearing this stuff for years and never even knew what posterity means. The word posterity means our children, our descendants, our seed, our lineage, our children, our grandchildren, our great-great-grandchildren. In order to establish this peace, get some sort of liberty and blessings of liberty, that's where I come back to the Lord of the Liberty. We're the Lords of the Liberty. We were trying to keep some liberty, which basically means freedom from outside restraint. Meaning, we don't want y'all raping our women, we don't want you killing our children, so in order for us to make sure you don't, we will sign this Constitution, or draft it, ordain and establish it, which means to create and make it law for you. Now that's how that came to be. That was the Constitution of 1787. Keep in mind the Sultan of Morocco signed the treaty in 1786. It became effective in 1787. And that is why that was done. Now, the Constitution was redone in 1871. That wasn't us, wasn't about us. The one we did was 1787. Because I have people that want to argue with, no, we didn't do the Constitution, England and all them did it. Yeah, they went back and redid some stuff. We did the first one. Now, in order to comprehend that, you have to go further in saying, now who is this king? You know who the Lords of Liberty are now. Well, if you don't, do your research. Go find out. Figure it out. Now, there are a couple of things that I want to point out about who the king is, where the king is, what the king took, and how the king took it. That breaks us back all the way again to terminology. A lot of you guys are individuals, natural beings. How's that? A lot of our people hear words and don't really quite understand what they mean. For example, the word violence. You guys, many of us don't even know that the word violence means distortion of fact. See, everybody's thinking violence has something to do with blood and guts. Have you looked the word up? A lot of us haven't. If you don't believe me, look it up. I got dictionaries, find one, look it up. Tell me if it says something else. Now, there are some words that you don't know, which you should know, because the scriptures, for those of you that are very biblically bound, say, in the beginning was the Word. You gotta know what that means. It also says, study to show yourself approved. That means study the mess and prove it for yourself. Don't listen to somebody else. Don't believe anything that you're told. You go check it out and see. It also says, rightly divide the word. How many of you guys even know what that means? Rightly divide means decode, define, separate it out, pull the pieces apart, and then you can get to the real deal. Now, there are a couple of words that I really wanted to bring to your attention that we hear all the time that a lot of us are not as swift on as we ought to be. One of the words, and for those of you that are very, very religious, it is certainly not my intent to insult anybody. Unfortunately, I do sometimes have that effect on people. There's a key word that y'all use all the time, God. I have a problem with the word, but I'm going to show you why. You also deal with the word Satan. We also have this other word, hell. Now these seem like minor trivialities to you all, but these are very key terms, and they're very key terms for you to comprehend on how this game was played on we the people. Now don't get mad, but here's the other one that I have a major problem with. Jesus. Right. And the last one I want to touch is Jehovah. Now I'm getting ready to shatter some reality. This is what you call a reality check today. This is a science of terminology. That's what we're doing, the science of terminology, so you comprehend mind control by way of religion, so that you can see how the king got the treasure that belongs to the Lord of the Liberty through special words, because you have no recollection that this madness even exists, and you sure don't know it's yours because you don't even know it exists. Now, I want to start with Jehovah, because are there any Jehovah's Witnesses here today? Oh, good. That's good. That'll make it a little easier. Now this word, I'm going back again to the Strong's Exhaustive Concordance of some of your favorite book, the Bible. Now you know the Bible, as I was telling you earlier, is information that was taken from the text of our ancient ancestors. Now they did take the truth and they made it a lie. The scriptures tell you that Satan took the truth and made it a lie. If you're reading this book, You should see that piece. Now, I believe the word is number 3050. Some of this stuff I know by heart, but let me just double check. Well, see, I don't want to come off the top of my head with, even though I can. Y'all need to see this stuff for yourself. Ah, yeah, it is. Word number 3050. Jehovah. Now keep in mind, in our original language, which is Latin, there is and was, never will be, a J. The next thing that shot off of that, the Hebrew, no J. Never was, never will be. So, y'all that are hollering Jesus and Jehovah all the time, you need to check that. You seriously need to check that. Well, let's break that down a little further. Jehovah is the Jewish, check that, Jewish national name for God. Now, if you got a dictionary out there, if you look up Israel, it'll tell you that the nation of Israel has only been established since 1948. So what's up with that? Now, keep in mind, Jehovah is a two-part word. Give me my little pen here. Let me erase some of this at the top. The true word Jehovah, which was the truth that was spun into a lie, is Yah. But I'm not going to go into the true word yet. I'm going to do Jehovah first. And Hova. Now, there's a problem with this picture. And I'm going to tell you what the problem is. The word Hova. Now, what is that word? I don't remember it off the top of my head. But y'all need to see this. Y'all need to see this. The word Hova. Here it is. It is word number 1943. The word Hova means ruin, mischief. And it comes from word number 1942. Word number 1942 means eagerly coveting, and rushing or falling. Desire, also ruin, calamity, iniquity, mischief, mischievous thing, naughtiness, naughty, noisome. That's N-O-I-S-O-M, S-O-M-E. Some of y'all know what that means. It also means perverse thing, substance, very wickedness. Now, if you are a Jehovah's Witness, you really need to check that. You really need to check that. And the reason I'm pointing this out to you in this terminology breakdown is because I'm trying to take you someplace. Now, when you talk about Yah and Hova, it did say that Jehovah is the, who name? Jewish national name for God. Put it back where it belongs. Now y'all don't forget that piece, because I'm bringing you back to these Jews, and I'm bringing you back to them. Now, the word Jesus, if you say it correctly in Latin, you know it means Jesus. Now, y'all know it means Jesus. And if you do any research in these treasure chests and treasuries, now they told you in these dictionaries what a thesaurus is. Y'all need to get some and look this stuff up. And we're going to holler about Jesus here. The reason I'm putting that there is because those of you that are Bible thumpers, and there's nothing wrong with the Bible other than the fact that it has been twisted. Don't ever forget it. You never see this word Jesus until you get to the New Testament. The New Testament is Greek. That's splendid, but when you start believing on the beliefs of the Greeks, then you want to make it your business to comprehend where the Greeks were coming from. Zeus was the supreme god and deity of the Greeks. Look it up. If you look up Zeus in any one of these dictionaries, it'll tell you precisely that. That's why you don't see his name until you get to the New Testament, but y'all didn't really know what Jesus meant. Now, that doesn't seem like much until you realize that the word Zeus is the same word as the word deuce. Now let me erase a little something. Actually, I don't want to erase that. Well, I guess I could. I'm going to have to come back to this Church King, Lord of the Liberty stuff, because I'm coming all the way back to all of that. I'm going to show you how our people have gotten their behinds kicked. And that's getting ready to cease, at least for everybody sitting here today.
Yes.
All right. The word Zeus is synonymous to or akin to, for those of you that I showed how to break down these little abbreviations in the brackets, the word Deus, D-E-U-S, which is also the same word as the word deity or deity. There's a problem going on here that a lot of people haven't comprehended because they haven't done the basic research. The word deity means Deus. The word Deus means Zeus. The word Zeus is Jesus. But if you look in the dictionary, and who out there has one? If you look up the word Deus, it'll tell you that Deus, D-E-U-S, is God, Zeus. If you look up the word deity, because a lot of you guys say, well, I believe in the deity so-and-so, you want to throw a name on your deity, you're going to stop that today too. When you look up the word deity, it will tell you that D-E-I-T-Y comes from the word Deus. If you look up the word D-E-U-C-E, and you get down in the brackets, it will tell you that the word D-E-U-C-E is the same word as D-E-U-S. D-E-U-C-E means devil. Look that up. Don't be sitting there looking at me. Somebody get up and come get a dictionary. Don't be sitting there thinking on it. Check this out. Hey, I want you to know, don't believe nothing I say, because I don't know everything there is to know. I don't have every little piece of this puzzle, but I'm going to give you the piece I got, because what is that it says in the scriptures? There must be a falling away first. Y'all going to fall away. You're going to fall away. You're going to drop this stuff today. Especially if you look in the book and you see what I'm telling you. If you sit there and you just think, oh, this sister tripping. Well, where'd she get this information? Who is she? She a reverend? She got any background? Where's her degree? If you sit out there with that attitude, you ain't going to drop nothing. You're going to keep tripping and you're going to keep getting played. Now, D-E-U-C-E-D. In the definitions in the dictionary, the word deuced means damned and confounded. If you have been deuced, you have been damned and confounded. So if you've been deuced, you've been deuced, you've been Zeused, you've been Jesused. Now, check it. Yeah, y'all laugh. And it is funny, but this is the real deal stuff I'm telling you here today. I'm not trying to hurt anybody's feelings, but it is going to hurt for some of us because we've been lied to for so long. Our parents, our grandparents, great-great-grandparents. But I'm going to tell you this. When we get back to Adam, just bring this circle around for you. When Adam got here, the Lords of the Liberty had all the land. We had the continent. We had it going on. Adam had the Bible. Now, Adam got all the land, and y'all got the Bible. They did that because, A, we spoke a different language first. We didn't speak their language. We didn't read their language. And then, during the Reconstruction era, they made sure it was not allowed for us to learn to read because they had to change the story first. That's what Reconstruction means. They reconstructed the writings. Any of us that were caught trying to learn how to read their little language, you know what I'm saying, trying to get their language together, could be killed, flogged, and what have you. Why? Because they had to finish the reconstruction first. And then when they did decide they wanted to let us learn to read, guess what? They had finished doing their reconstruction. And one of the first things they made sure we could read was the difference between colored and white. That was another play with them words. A lot of you guys that know about words know it's not good to be colored. It's very bad to be colored. And if you don't know, I'll bring that around for you today. Now, if we have thoroughly comprehended what's going on here, then I need to bring you back to, now we straight on Jehovah. Some of y'all looking at me like you're not buying this. And I know if you're not buying it, you didn't get up and come get a book. Now, we straight on Jesus, and if we straight on Jehovah, we should be straight on whose national God is he? Jewish. Now, Jewish people, especially when they're dealing with religion and ceremony, the men in particular wear what is called a little yarmulke, a little skull cap. Now, I don't know what piece of skull y'all ain't putting with Golgotha, but hey, y'all gonna catch up. Now, that's a trip because I have a dictionary, and please tell me I bought it today. I didn't bring it today. But y'all that know me can get at me. I'll show you, because I have tons of books. Everybody that knows me know I got books all over the place. You can barely get in my room stepping over my books and my junk. All I bought was dictionaries. Everything you see. These are different kinds of dictionaries. Now, I have a book. It's called the Webster's Encyclopedia of Dictionaries, which means it's a dictionary of dictionaries. There are several different dictionaries inside this dictionary. And it says that Jew is a contraction for Yahuda. Now, Yahuda and Jewish are not the same thing. Now, I'm going to tell you, Yahuda sounds like brothers to me all day. But Jewish, they wish they was Yahuda, but they not. And if you don't believe me, somebody come get this Bible and look up Revelations 2:9 and Revelations 3:9. It says clearly, I know the blasphemy of them that say they are Yahuda and are not, but do lie. Or in here it says Jew. I know the blasphemy of them that say they are Jew, but are the synagogue of Satan and do lie. Now y'all need to check this, because again, I'm breaking you off into the science of terminology and the terms and how we were played on and played down with these words. And we are losing today behind these words. Now, when you comprehend the yarmulke and who wears it, then you have to think, okay, Jewish, who are these people? Now, I don't remember which dictionary it was that I pulled it from, but it's one of these, and I'll find it for somebody that wants me to prove it, because I will prove it. But let me give you this piece right here. For those of you that say you're Christian, this is seriously painful. Those of you that are Christian, there's nothing wrong with wanting to do the right thing. And a lot of us have become Christians because we wanted to do what we thought was the right thing. And we wanted to be what we thought was God-like. Now the brother that they're claiming is just Jesus, there was a brother named Yahshua, you know, that walked around back in the day from the continent called Africa. I don't know where this blonde-haired, blue-eyed dude is hanging up on everybody's grandmama's wall. That you get your behind beat for if you try to take it down if you say anything about the man. You get your fingers cut off. But back in the day, let me go one step further. Christians, in order to understand where I'm going with this understanding of these names, you have to understand who the Christians are, where they're from, and what's up with them. And then I can explain to you why the word Cretan is the word Cretan. Now, for those of you that don't know, I'm going to give you the definition of Cretan first. I wanted to save it for last, but maybe this will make you listen. This is going to do one of two things. It's going to make you either open your ears and pay attention to me, or walk out the door, and if you get this tape, turn the tape off. One of two. Cretan, which is C-R-E-T-I-N, like Nevada, is defined in good dictionaries, because different dictionaries write it differently. It's defined as a stupid, obtuse person, literally a Christian. I.e., y'all know I.e. means, that is, Christian means, in other words, a human being that is an idiot. That is a read verbatim from my dictionary, which I forgot to bring, but I'm sure somebody here has a dictionary that'll lead you something along those. It'll tell you that the word Cretan means Christian. Now, if you need to see what my dictionary says, which now I know why it's out of print, then you can check it out anytime. Now, in order for you to understand why being a Christian, especially if you're a Moor, being a Christian makes you an idiot that's really not thinking. And you're only not thinking because you haven't really looked this stuff up. Yes, you're reading the Bible, but you haven't done what the Bible said, which is to rightly divide the word so that you can comprehend them, so you know what you're talking about, so that when you stand before another Cretan that wants to argue you in a hole, you know where you're coming from and why, and you know where they're coming from and why. You've looked it up and checked it out, and they haven't. So, the battle back in the day between the Moors and the Christians was never about religion. Everybody thinks it was a religious war and it was a religious battle. That was not a religious matter. It was a war that was fought on what principle of existence we're going to live by. The Moors lived by at least until they started falling and tripping. Before they started tripping, Moor belief was, hey, you leave me alone, I leave you alone. You do your thing, I do my thing. I am that I am. I can take care of me, I can live my life, I can live by the law, I can govern myself accordingly, and I won't bother you and you don't bother me. I am my own master. I was born with the Creator. I was with the Creator from the minute I started breathing, from the minute I was conceived in the womb, when my dad's sperm got into my mom's egg. I was with the Creator at that point. And by Creator, I mean the supreme primary Creator, and my mother, who is a Creator, and my father, who is a Creator, because they created me. And I'm a Creator because you see my babies, I created a man too. Because I got a man that I created. He's 18. Some of y'all know him. So, that is what is meant when Yahshua says, but ye are gods, or the word, I hate that word God, but you know what I mean. You are a Creator. The Christians, on the other hand, their belief was, no, you ain't gonna do your own thing. We gonna have a man here that's gonna rule this thing. He gonna tell you how things should be done. You're gonna do things in accordance with his rules, laws, and customs. Never mind your I am that I am, and I'll live and govern myself, and I'm the master of myself and my fate. I can deal with my own destiny. So, you had the Moors that wanted to live in their own destiny, or creating their own destiny, and you had the Christians that wanted to live by, we're going to have a man that's going to be in charge, and you're going to do what he says. Now it brings us back to a king. Keep this in mind. When you look up the word Christian in the dictionary, and I'm hoping that some of y'all have already flipped there so that you're keeping up with me. See, a lot of this stuff, I don't have to look this stuff up. I'm trying to flip there so I can read it to you verbatim so you don't think I'm, because some of my people, when you're saying something, if you're wrong on one word, they want to shoot you down and step into that word and just try to cut down your whole argument.
Yeah, better be right.
So it's like, I want to try
Hey,
to stay on point.
Hey, let me read this, your little dictionary. What, I know you don't agree with this, but Merriam-Webster, if you go by a pocket dictionary, I don't care what you say, nobody said Merriam-Webster. Now, Webster is a generic name that there's people call, he the first one made the dictionary, but Merriam-Webster got certain standards. And it is the
I bet they do.
It is the best dictionary you can buy you can buy. Look at what it said. It said that Cretin, C-R-E-T-I-N, thou, Cretin, Christian, human being, a kind of idiot found in the Alps.
Well, they're not only in the Alps anymore.
Christian.
Look at that big eyesore across the street.
Christian.
Okay.
It's a person with marked mental deficiency.
But some of those big dictionaries that they have in their laps that are expounded, when you get in the brackets, it tells you the word Cretan means Christian.
Well, that's what it says here.
Okay.
It's a
All right.
Christian human being, a kind of idiot.
Well, let me bring it, now that you brought that point out, let me come back to Christian for you. Christians are any
It's cold.
followers or adherents of Jesus. We know who he is now, don't we?
And it was.
Well, no, he is. He is. Jesus is here.
He is.
Oh, he's here. In the flesh. Been here a long time. I'm finna break all that down. I'm finna point out where the king is. I'm finna point out where the problem is. And it's up to you to do the rest. Now, C-R-E, Cretan is spelled C-R-E-T like Tom, I-N like Nevada. Now, anyone that's following Jesus is a Cretan for a couple of reasons. Now, those of you that can't get with, yeah, right, Jesus, yeah, right, yeah, I don't believe that's Zeus. I don't think it means Zeus. Because some people are going to go, I don't see anything in the dictionary that says Jesus means Zeus. So let's not go there. I'm going to give you something else that's going to shatter your world. Look up the word lamb. L-A-M like money, B like boy. And don't get some little 10-cent dictionary, please. Get the biggest one you got in the house. But, you know, 'cause some of these 10-cent dictionaries don't even have the little square brackets in them. Now, in the word lamb, maybe the third definition down, in bold letters, it says the Lamb. And the Lamb is Jesus Christ. Now, when you look up the brackets below the word lamb, it says the word lamb is akin to, and I showed you guys what akin to means. That means the same as the word alephos, which means deer. So you go and you look up deer. And you read through deer and it doesn't say much until you get to the square brackets. When you get to the word deer and you look in the square brackets, it says beast. Greek for beast, Latin for beast, Gothic for beast, I don't care which way you slice it. The word deer means beast. Lamb is the same as deer. The Lamb is Jesus Christ. So if Jesus Christ is the Lamb, which is the same as a deer, which is a beast, Jesus Christ is the beast. For those of you that won't buy that, because some of y'all are like, hey, turn that off. I don't want to see this sister no more because we're taping here. Some of y'all gonna trip, and in some households, if you're looking at this, by the time I get to this point, you can turn the TV off and left. But for those of you that don't want to buy that, look up the word Judas Priest. J-U-D like David, A-S. P-R-I-E-S-T. Judas Priest. That definition says that Judas Priest is a euphemism for Jesus Christ. That don't mean nothing unless you know what euphemism means. The word euphemism, and look it up, don't listen to me. The word euphemism means a nice, mild way of saying something that's offensive. Judas Priest is a nice, mild way of saying Jesus Christ. And that doesn't mean much either until you look up Judas and then you look up priest. A Judas, by definition, is one that is treacherous enough to betray a friend. priest is one whose office it is to perform the ritual of sacrifice. So, Jesus Christ is the Judas priest whose office it is to befriend you and then betray you as a friend by serving you up for sacrifice. That takes me back now. I'm trying not to insult you. I'm just trying to break down the terminology. Because this is the most important science in the world. This is the science that we are being beat with. Because we don't know, we don't want to know. But if you're sitting in here, you might not want to know. But unless you leave, you're going to get it. So, now, for those of y'all that still want to keep hollering about Jesus, you go right ahead. I'm thinking that hopefully you've gotten enough information to understand it. But even if you didn't, let me give you something more. More. The Roman Catholic Church, if you look up the definition of Roman Catholic Church, it is defined as the church of which the Pope is the supreme head. That don't mean much yet, but it's getting ready to mean a whole lot. Y'all, I'm trying to cause you to fall away. Okay, what I'm doing here, I'm piercing the fog so you can see. Because my people are blind. The scriptures say that. We are blind. We look, but we don't see. We hear, but we're not listening, or are we listening and not hearing? Which one is it? Okay? See, we are what you call dead, but most people don't know what dead means, so they don't understand. They think that when you're dead, your body is cold, buried in some grave with no breathing and no oxygen to be existing and walking and talking. There are many, many people that are walking, talking, eating, drinking, breathing, interacting with you every day, and they are dead. And that, you understand that if you look up dead, and for some of y'all, I'm gonna have to look that up because I don't want y'all taking my word for nothing. Because some of y'all are like, what is she talking about? So I'm gonna show you what I'm talking about. And don't take my word for it. When I'm through with this book, come get it. Come see. Now, I'm not going to give you every definition of dead, but there's so much here going on with dead. Here's some definitions of dead. Now, this is one of the baddest books on the planet.
All right.
This one is called the J.I. Rodale Synonym Finder. Didn't we say that synonym finders are treasuries? So you guys are already rich, and you don't even know it because you don't know where the treasuries are buried. But dead, unconscious. Y'all know a lot of them kind of folks. Impassive, insensible, insensitive, emotionless, unconcerned, unresponsive, unsympathetic, uninterested. I'm just giving you some of these things. Sluggish. Let's see. Unprofitable. A lot of us ain't making no kind of profit. Check the check. Okay. Unfruitful. Stagnant. That means we're not progressive. And if you look at my people, as a group, we are stagnant. We are not moving. Hey, everybody comes to the neighborhood, you know what I mean? Here come our Mexican brothers. They get it together. You look up, niggas all in the house. Next thing you know, they done moved out. Everybody got a house, and you still checking the check. The Koreans come, they open up their little hookup in the hood. Next thing you know, they got it going on. Everybody get it going on. We still left behind. Now, like I said, there's so much going on here with dead. Tell it. I don't even want to go there.
That's all right.
But look it up for yourself. We're dead. At any rate, my point. When you get back to how we were beat and how we're still being beat, we're being beat because we're dead. We're emotionless, we're lifeless, we're not responsive. unless we want to argue somebody in a hole because they're saying something we don't want to hear. And I know today I'm saying something a lot of people don't want to hear. So, back in the day, to get back where it was, the Moors and the Christians were having this battle. It was never about religion. It was about the principle of whose way of life was going to be the way of life to live by. We lost. We lost because, A, we had been divided. We were tripping on one another, so it was easy for somebody else to step in from outside and conquer us. Unfortunately, hundreds and hundreds of years later, we're still losing. And frankly, I'm tired of it. I'm sick of losing. I'm tired of being poor and broken, check to check, and bordering on homeless, and everybody knows I'm having serious problems right about now. And it seems to me that the more truth I find out, the more problems I have. I'm beginning to think that there are forces seen and unseen that are working against my black. It's like, wait a minute, she know too much, she talking too much, she telling too much, shut her down, shut her down. There's some entities, beings that I don't see that are just all over me. I wish they'd get off me. But the Christians, for those of you that are Christians, they went around the world as the most violent, vicious group of people you have ever seen in your life. And everybody's like, I'm a Christian. Ah, yeah, right. That ain't nothing to brag about, if you ask me. That is if you know the history. The Christians went around the world, they had the Bible and the lamb in one hand, and way back in the day, their symbol used to be a cross with a lamb. Don't believe me, go do some research on symbols. I got a bunch of books on symbols and symbols. Look that stuff up. Their symbol was a cross with a lamb. They had the Bible with this lamb and cross in one hand, and they had the sword in the other. And when they weren't using the sword, they were using that sword-like forked tongue. They tell you the one thing, and they meaning something else. They're doing it today. They're kicking our butts today with this terminology that they wouldn't let us use. Until the Reconstruction era was over, then it was like, okay, now you niggas gonna learn how to read because it says what we want you to know what to say. So, now that we have been thoroughly fooled and compromised, when people come along and they attempt to wake us up and they attempt to bring us the truth, a lot of us don't want to hear it. We don't want to know, we don't want to believe it. Don't believe it. Look it up. If you look it up, unless you're just crazy, and if you keep hollering that you're a Christian, you might be. That's why that's why they say you're a cretin. Then, I'm not trying to be insulting. I'm just saying, when you look it up, then you fall away. You can't help but fall away when you see the truth and you know the truth, unless you are crazy. Now, I already broke down Zeus and Deuce. Now, I'm going to break down hell and Satan. Now, Satan, and I got, how many dictionaries? I got 2 or 3 Bible dictionaries. This one's Unbelief and Religion. Look it up. The word Satan literally means adversary, enemy, opponent. That's what it means. This whole business about some horns and forks and whatever, y'all need to come back with that. Look the stuff up and understand the terms and how you've been played with these words. Because in the beginning was the Word, and the Word was changed by somebody. Who? Why? Now, for those of you that have been following me since we started this evening, you kind of know why. The words were changed because the king wanted the treasure. They wanted to make sure that the Lord of the Liberty had no recollection that the treasure existed. Once they had no recollection that the treasure existed, they don't remember or know who hid it. If you don't know who hid it and no one knows it's out there, what did the Black's Law Dictionary say? Then it becomes the property, is considered abandoned, and it belongs to the king. And they did it with special words. The only reason they have everything that belongs to us is with special words. Nothing else. Yeah, there's some bloodshed, woo-woo. A little violence, yahoo. Our people ain't never been scared of no violence. Because you know, there's certain neighborhoods you go into, they'll show you violence in a minute. So this little creature, this creation that walks around here, got all of us scared because of some violence, well, big deal. It wasn't the violence that they beat us with. It was the violence that made us surrender. But even with the surrendering, the brothers that were ruling at the time did not give up everything, because they too, when they wrote the Constitution and when they wrote some other things, they also had some special words. Now we can get everything back when we get with the words and the terms. And you're not going to get with the words and the terms until you understand terminology and the importance thereof. And you're not going to understand the importance thereof until you fall away from your silly beliefs already. Now that we're talking belief, before I get into hell, let me give you the breakdown on belief. Now this is a breakdown of the word belief. Now you're not going to see this in no dictionary. But since almost all I do is read dictionaries, they become my favorite reading, I can break this down for you. Believe. Those of you that are familiar with this term, YHWH, you know that this is the term that is repeated in original Hebrew, back in Hebrew. It is written in what you call the Bible, or what the Bible was before somebody tainted it. It was called I am that I am. English we say Yahweh. It was YHWH. That's also called the Tetragrammaton. Capital T-E-T-R-A-G-R-A. M like money, M like money, A-T-O-N. Look this crap up, don't believe me. Now, it was this term that they took and they polluted it and made it Jehovah. They took the truth and made it a lie, and they have over 90% of the world's populace Satan worshiping because we don't know no better. Now, those of you that know about spelling, you're fully aware that when you spell something out, you create a reality. If in the beginning was the word formed from a thought. In the beginning was a thought. A thought is a thing. A word is a thing. That's why your parents, some of our parents that were training us said, well, you know, if you can't say nothing nice, just don't say nothing. There's a reason for that. Because when you say something and it's not a nice thing, you create a reality. Everything that you think, everything that you speak, everything that you write out becomes real. Now, the best way for me to point that out is this room that we're standing in right now. At one point in time, there was nothing here but open field. Somebody stepped on this field and they had a thought. And they saw this lot. They saw this shopping mall, they pictured it here. Now, let's say I'm the one doing this thinking. This is a thought in my head. Y'all don't see it. You don't understand it because you don't see it. Now I can stand there and say, you know, I see a little mall here and a Good Life in the corner. Hey, it's going to be still standing in July of 2001, which is where we are. Now, you may not quite get it when I'm speaking it to you, but once I've thought it, it's real to me. Once I speak it, it's real for you. But you still may not be able to really see it until I write it out and I spell it out. Put it in the form of a blueprint or plan. Then it's real for somebody that can read a plan. Oh, man, yeah, I see it. Hey. So then you have somebody that built the thing, and now everybody sees it. Everything you think becomes real when you speak it. Everything you say becomes real when you write it. And everything you think, speak, and say, and write becomes real when you make it real enough for everybody else to see. So, what they did is they took this term, which is the truth of I am that I am. And those of us that are Moors know what that means. They took that and got us praying to some demon god. Now, if you've been keeping up, then you following me at this point. Now, there is a problem with this believe, because we just came out of Pisces, right? Which is the era of, I believe, it's time for that crap to cease. We are in Aquarius already. Everybody else knows that they singing songs about it the whole night. Hey, 6th dimension, 5th dimension, they were ready sometime back when we were coming up in the 70s. When was that? This is the dawning of the age of Aquarius. You know what I mean? So in other words, they was trying to tell you, it's coming, get ready. Believe is Bel / Ive. Now, Baal is a spelling variation of Baal, B-A-A-L. B-A-A-L and B-E-L are one and the same. If you look them up in any dictionary, both of them will tell you that it is the word for Lord. And unless I'm mistaken, those of you that are into the scriptures, it says all throughout the scripture, but y'all never put it together before. I'm going to put it together for you today. It says all throughout the scriptures, the I am that I am is saying, don't be calling me Baal. You know, you didn't trash my name for Baal, and you calling me, don't call me Baal, don't call me that. All in the Old Testament. See, a lot of y'all have jumped into the Greek stuff and you left your own stuff. Get back in the Old Testament, because that's what the truth is. All throughout there it's saying, don't call me Baal. I have a name. My people have been caused to err because they've been forced by preachers, prophets, and so on to forget my name for Baal, which means Lord. And every time you talk to people that are Christians, oh Lord, it's the Lord, my Lord, God Lord. Scriptures tell you plain and clear, don't call the Supreme Creator Lord. But it says Baal, but you never looked Baal up, so you never knew it meant Lord. You look up Baal, you find the square brackets, you look in the brackets, it'll tell you that's Hebrew word for Lord. So, that takes me back to Baal-E. Baal also means false god. Now, I just sat here and proved to you that Jehovah is a false god, Jesus is a false god. If you don't check that, rewind this tape. Or rewind your memory, whatever, whichever. Baal-E. Now, in order for you to understand I-E-V-E, you have to go back to Y-H-W-H. I-E-V-E takes you to Latin. Let's see, I already went over this word, so let me erase that. And this one. I hope I'm not hurting too many feelings. All right. I-E-V-E is the same thing as Y-H-W-H. It is the same thing. So if you believe what you believe, then you, false Lord, false God, I am that I am. So, in other words, if you know what believe means, the other word is like credence. You put credence to a thing, and you take for truth and accept as real a false I am that I am. That's what believe or Baal-Eve is. Do the research. I'm not making this up. Now, once you get past that little piece of falsehood, and you come out of Pisces and that believing on the false I am that I am, you might be able to find your way back to the real deal of I am that I am and who you are. Now, we got to go. I already told you what Satan is. Now you need to know what hell means. Hell means, literally, and you come look it up in these Bible dictionaries, it means conceal. C-O-N-C-E-A-L. If you look up the word conceal, then you find out it means buried, hidden, coded. Hell also, surprisingly, is in the Black's Law Dictionary. Did y'all know that? Hell, and whoever has it, look it up. Look this up. Don't listen to me. Hell in the Black's Law Dictionary is described as an underground king's chambers for debtors. Now, those of you that are all into the UCC, we coming on back. Bringing it on. I'm trying to bring this all the way around, because this whole game has been played because we don't get the terms. When you get with the UCC, you know about the all capitalized straw man debtor versus the upper and lowercase sentient being. Those debtors belong to the king, along with our land, money, treasure, our babies, our cars, our houses. Our court cases belong to the king too. That's why when you go in there, they tell you to sit down and shut up or you be held in contempt. Don't talk, don't open your mouth. Because, and the reason they do that to you is this. They perceive that you still a Christian. And a lot of times they'll ask you, is that your, in court, I've had them ask, is that your Christian name? You stand there and go, yes. They're going, creep. A lot of times they don't come right out and tell you that. See, you go in these courts and you lose a lot of ways. You don't know the terms and conditions of the rules of war because you don't know terminology. You don't know the science of words. You don't know that in the beginning was words. You don't know they reconstructed the history with the words for a reason. All that was done to separate you away from what's real. They put us behind this false God. They put us behind an all capitalized fiction name. We thought it was ours, you know what I mean? You say it sounds like my name to me, but yeah, I was a Cretan too, so, you know, I'm not beating up on nobody that don't know, but I'm gonna tell you, if I have anything to do with it, you gonna know. So anyway, conceal means to confuse, to bury, to cloud, to fog, to cover, to haze, and it means the debtor's chamber of the king. Look in the Black's Law Dictionary. Y'all looking at me like, yeah, right. Don't look at me like that. Get the book. It's out there. So, now that you understand this, you can kind of have a better picture of what Satan is, the adversary, enemy, opponent, and what hell is. Now, that takes me back, because I'm going to be going back and forth to try to clear this picture for you. That takes me back to the Christians again. Many of you are familiar with the term crusades. Christian crusades. A lot of you have never looked up crusades. I know you haven't. Have you? I have. Now let me tell you about, now remember I said, did anybody out there look up Roman Catholic Church, or did y'all just sit there and believe me? Did it say the Pope is the supreme head of the Roman Catholic Church? Now, does it say anything about Christians under Roman Catholic Church? Huh? Anyway, let me get back to my point. Crusades.
Yes, it did.
Thank you. Now I'm finna break you down. I'm finna break you off. Like Q told you last Saturday, I'm finna give you this science, because this is the science that's kicking our butts. And this is the science we can ready to leave here today comprehending. We're not gonna get beat down on this science no more. I hope not. Crusades in the dictionary, and I have the best one around, like I said, that's why it's not in print. Military expeditions undertaken by the Christians of Europe in the 11th, 12th, and 13th centuries to acquire the Holy Land from the Muslims. But we know that means Moors. And we know that means y'all that look like me. It also says in there under crusades, any war carried on under papal sanction. Huh? Papal means Pope. Sanction means it was at his direction, at his discretion, at his order. The Pope sent these people around the world to beat us down. Now, hello, hey, you know what I'm saying? You know this is real. Y'all know I ain't lying. Now, for those of you that are with me, because I know I done left a whole lot of people behind, a lot of folks have left, I'm sure. But for those of you that are still with me, and I hope everybody's with me because this is some of the most important stuff you're going to get today. When you talk about the Pope, who was he was the man behind the Crusades, and it was the Crusades that took us down. You have to understand that he is the supreme head of the Roman Catholic Church. Christian church. Now those of you that have a dictionary, you look up Christian, and it'll tell you a Christian is any adherent or follower of Jesus Christ and his teachings or what have you. Now what y'all don't understand, a lot of you, is who Jesus Christ is. But I'm going to break that off in a minute. Now, when you talk about the Christian church, you have to look up church. So y'all following this stuff, you go into these places across the street every Sunday, or Friday, for you Seventh-day Adventists, every day, whatever. You go into these places, and you don't know why, and you don't know what you're doing, and if you knew, you would, you'd be like, get some garlic, the demons, okay? Now, the church is defined, and look this up. No dictionaries floating out there. I see them out there. I'm looking out there. I see people flipping the pages. Church is defined as the whole body of Christian believers. The whole entire body. I don't care if you're a Methodist Christian, a Presbyterian Christian, a Baptist Christian, an African. I don't care what you call yourself. You're a Christian. You're a part of the church. If you break down the definition of church or Christian church, it will also let you know that the Roman Catholic Church is the seat and foundation of all Christianity. Look it up.
Oh, yeah.
All Christianity is from the Roman Catholic Church. I don't care whose church you go to.
That's right.
You can sit up all day long and say, oh man, I believe in the Pope. I ain't following the Pope. Hey, yes you are.
Yes, you are. Yeah.
Yes you are. Because every Christian is a believer behind the Pope. The Pope wears a particular hat. Now we all know about, you know, he was the primary wearer of that little fish head to let you know that you were in the age of Pisces. And that means, I believe, hey, I false God, yes, master. So, when you understand that, you also understand that there is occasion where he wears another hat. And on that hat, there's Latin writing. And it says, Vicarive Filii. I think there's an S back here, something like that. Day.
Oh, it was.
Now, look up Vicar. Vicar means stand in, substitute, replacement for. Vicari Filii Dei means I am the stand-in, replacement, substitute for God. And if you have any encyclopedias, go look in your child's encyclopedia. If you look up Vicar, it will tell you right there in bold English that the Pope is the Vicar of Jesus. The Pope is God on earth. And you better check that out and you better look it up. Don't take my word for nothing. It will tell you in any book you look in that the Pope is Jesus Christ on earth. He is the Vicar of this deity. But there's a problem with that. Didn't I tell you guys that DEI means deuce? Didn't I tell you that means devil? Put it together. You're Satan worshiping. If you are a Christian, you are Satan worshiping and you are following behind the Pope. Look it up. And I'm betting any money, you don't even have to go to the library. I bet any money you got something in your house that'll tell you in black and white that that's what you're doing. Now, now that you understand, now, wait a minute. Isn't Jesus Christ the King? Does the book say King of Kings and Lord of Lords and some stuff like that? Now, has anybody ever taken the time to wonder why it is that whenever the Pope comes to town, he gets more fan than the freaking president?
Yeah.
He steps off, kissing the ground.
That's right.
He's like, oh, my continent, I own it. Oh, it's stolen from these people and they don't even know because they bowing down at me and they kissing my feet and they worship me and they don't even know who I am. He steps off the boat. First thing he does when he gets to America, and anybody that's ever seen him, he kisses the earth on this land. And it belongs to you. But it belongs to him because he got it from the Lord of the Liberty with the special words that y'all don't understand. But you're starting to understand now, right? I hope. All right. If you're not understanding, you will. I'm not through yet. There's more where that came from. Now, I'm going to give you something a little trippy. I was telling you earlier about a dictionary of dictionaries that I have that says that Jew is a contraction for Yahudah. Now, Jew-ish does a whole lot of telling. Now, let me show you what I came up with. Let me just see if I can figure out where I placed it here in my little to-do stuff. Can somebody turn this on for me? Are y'all gonna be able to see it? Where? Because I have this written out. I mean, at this point, you know, we've been working without it thus far, so it wouldn't, I mean, I'm pretty, you should be able to keep up, but.
I'm gonna tell me what to do.
Oh, I'm coming, brother. Y'all getting ready to get the whole real deal.
That close you down, you know.
Huh?
You know, you can't be talking about them Jews.
Hey, I don't care. They already closed me down. See, that's the problem with my people. They don't want to talk about nobody, but everybody talk about y'all. Okay? Hey, man, when they gonna wake up, you know what I'm saying? You know, they still think they black and colored, you know what I mean? As long as they stay asleep, we can keep sitting on their stuff, huh? They talk about you. You don't believe me? Watch that movie, The Lion King. That is your whole story. That little cartoon movie is all about you. You are Simba. Oh, yes, you are. Y'all laugh, but you know I'm right. You know I'm right. And what did Simba do? He did what our people have done. He got shocked and traumatized like we were shocked and traumatized. Some of us watched our parents dying out there when they were doing what they were doing. Those of us that didn't, they made sure they killed some of our parents right in front of us. In front of all of the slaves, remember? Most of whom were here already and didn't come in here in no kind of boats. But Simba did what we do. He forgot he was a king. He forgot he was a lion. Which means you the ruler. You forgot you the ruler. He even had people calling him another name. African American, ain't you? Fredericks is German, ain't you? Or whatever your last name may be today. He also started eating things lions don't eat. Simba was eating stuff he wasn't supposed to eat. Our people eat things they ain't supposed to eat. Look in Leviticus, it'll tell you what you're not supposed to eat. Simba was doing what we do best. Partying, chilling, killing it, doing one too many Akuma Tatas. You know what I mean? And his uncle was ruling his empire into the ground. Our empire has been ruled into the freaking ground because we out here chilling, being called things that are not our name, forgot that we the rulers, eating things we don't understand. Akuna Matata and rapping and partying. You know what I'm saying? But I'm trying to find a particular thing, and even though I don't see it, it's not going to stop me from getting to my point. Let me break you off with this, since I'm having some difficulty finding what I'm looking for. I was telling you earlier about the Jewish people. And this same dictionary I was telling you about earlier, it specifically says that Yahuda, or Jew, is the antithesis of Christian. Now, in order for you to know what that means, you need to understand that it takes you back to Yahuda. Okay? You already know this is the first part of I am that I am. So, Christianity is the opposite of what you're about. And you ain't knowing, or at least you weren't knowing, so you didn't know no better. Hey, I'm not mad at you. You didn't know no better. But you didn't know the terms and the conditions, and you don't know the rules, so we lose. If you go out there playing tennis and they playing football, you gonna get your butt kicked. Because you ain't even playing the same game. We're not playing the same game because we don't know words. But anyway, the yarmulke is a little skull cap that so-called Jews wear. And it says here that it's a man's skull cap, and it'll say that in any dictionary you're looking at, that is worn during prayer and religious study. And it's a Yiddish word for raincoat. Now that don't sound like much until you understand what Yiddish means, and then you understand what rain and coat means. Now, Yiddish is a, now, wait a minute. Didn't I say the word Jehovah is the Jewish national name for God? I'm going full circle. I know I'm going about it the long way, but I'm bringing you back around. That is the Jewish national name for God. The Jewish nation has been standing since 1948. Some of us were living then. I ain't going to tell you how old I am, but I was born not long thereafter. Now, Yiddish is a High German dialect. In Israel or Palestine, which is Canaan, which was us. So if we were there, and some of us are there, let me tell you, our Palestinian brothers are putting up the fight, and they like, where them niggas in America gonna wake up and help us out? They keep coming over here with the guns in the back and you know, with the military army and shooting at us and whatever. They want to know, what's up with y'all? What's up with y'all? They are us and we are them. But we go over there fighting for the king or the pope in the army and the navy and the marines, shooting at our brothers on land that's ours that they fighting to try to get back. But anyway, it's a High German dialect, and it's an admix of Hebrew and Slavic. Yiddish means, Yiddish was offshot from Yiddish, and Yiddish is from Jewish, and Jewish means German. So y'all looking at me like, y'all need to look this stuff up. Y'all looking at me like, yeah, right. Don't go there. Now, in order for you to understand what some of that means, I need to take you back to German so you understand what German is and what Germany is and who German is. Now remember, if Jew is the antithesis of Christian, then why is it that the Jews wear a yarmulke and the Pope, who was the head of the Christian church, wears a yarmulke? That's a German thing. That's a Yiddish, Jewish German thing. But he's supposed to be heading up the Christians, which is supposed to be opposite of Yehuda. So they got this game sold up, so they can't do nothing but win until we get the words together. Now, Germans are the Teutons, T-E-U-T-O-N-S. They're Teutonic. T-E-U-T-O-N-I-C. know, like he said, that I need to be careful? I know this is dangerous what I'm doing. Do I care? Some things are worth dying for. Frankly, you know, as far as me needing to be careful because, oh, I can get in trouble talking about the Jews, I'm in trouble already. My people are in trouble. Those of you that know my son, he's in trouble. We in trouble. We need to wake up. We need to wake up fast because they have plans for us that are nothing nice, and they're going to be able to execute this plan unless we wake up and break down these terms and let the falling away occur so we can pierce the fog so we can see. You can't fix what you can't see. I'm trying to take the blinders off. And I don't, I guess things could get worse, but it's already real bad. I'm looking at my brothers dying out here. Every time I go anywhere, all I see is these Roman soldiers hemming my brothers up. And we just ride by, we don't even want to at least stand back at a distance and try to be a witness, you know what I'm saying? We're too scared to even watch so that we can be the three that are necessary to be a lawful witness. Because the scriptures say we don't have to go to a notary public to get something notarized and affirmed to. I have my sister sitting here, she's a notary public. And I go to her for lots of things. Because I want to give her any little money I'm getting. And she already told me I filled up almost all her book by myself. But the fact is, we don't have to go to a notary public to get something witnessed. All we need is 3. According to the scripture, 3 are oath and affirmation, duly sworn. So can we at least get 3 people to stand around and see what people are doing to our brothers? We just, oh man, I don't want to stop. I got warrants. It ain't gonna get no easier. They hemming up them little brothers for a reason, because them little brothers are the ones that are going to be willing to fight if we can keep them out of the jail. That's why they run them through them jails. A brother can't, you know, a young brother can't even walk a whole block or drive a whole block without getting accosted by somebody. I mean, dang, what's going on? As adults, I'm sorry to say, I'm going to tell you to your face, we suck. We suck. We let this happen. Everybody's like, yeah, they need to try them as adults. It's what they get. They out of control. Yeah, they need 3 strikes. Huh. They didn't create this problem. We either voted for this crap or didn't vote when we should have voted for this crap or against this crap. We're the ones. These little brothers ain't out here driving no boats, spilling no oil on no oceans. They're not cutting down any trees in any of these rainforests. These young brothers are not the problem. They are not creating the mess that's going on around them. Half of them ain't got out the hood. They ain't went nowhere to do nothing wrong. Why are we against them? We suck as adults. We're not protecting our babies. Anyway, Teutonic or Teutons are German, people of Jutland, Dutch, Scandinavian, British. Because you guys that know anything about Moors know that Moors were over in Britain. Brittany first. You know, so these people wish they was us. They ain't us. They're just lying. They got us food. These people are Nordic. But there was a particular military order, and I'm trying to bring you back around to Israel, Canaan, and Palestine. I'm going there so I can help you connect the link between the so-called Jews and the so-called Roman Catholic Church. Is that, you have a question?
Someone got a car parked in the parking lot, blocking somebody. You know you have a car parked not in the space out there.
Is there anyone in here that's blocking someone outdoors with your vehicle? Okay. When you look under see, I'm one of these people, when I look up a word, I always look at the word above and below. And I always find the brackets above and below because sometimes they bury it a little somewhere else. You look up a thing and it's not there. Like, I looked up Christian. Nowhere in Christian definition did it say stupid idiot. You get the Cretan, we figured that out. And I only got there because I was trying to figure out who these Cretes were. So anyway, if you look under Teuton or Teutonic, you'll find the Teutonic order. That is another word for Teutonic Knights. The Teutonic Knights are a religious military order that was founded in C 1190, 1190. Now I didn't show you guys what C means. When you're dealing with time or an era of time and you have a little C in front of a year, that means circa, C-I-R-C-A, which means somewhere around about.
Oh.
Okay? So, this was a religious military order that was founded somewhere around 1190 in the Holy Land by German crusaders. They still over there. So, my point here is I wanted to bring out to you that these people that are in Israel today, calling themselves Yahuda and are not, but do lie, are German. Yiddish speaking German. They're also Khazar German or Kaiser German. Now look up Kaiser, S-E-R. The Teutonic people who invaded and settled in parts of the Roman Empire. Now, a lot of you guys are Batman fans. You've seen this movie, Batman. You remember that? Now, I only put this together. Now, you guys, I only put some of this stuff together recently. The brothers and sisters know me know I'm good at filling in spaces. I don't know everything, but I'm one of these people. If somebody goes out and they watch a movie, and they know the movie trying to tell them something, but they don't know what the movie's trying to say, they be like, look, Yafa. Some of them still call me Sharon. Girl, look, this movie, I need you to check it out and break it down for me and tell me what it means. I'll be like, okay, so I either go get it or somebody will rent it. Somebody will bring it to me, go watch this, decode it, and tell me what they're trying to say. Gotham, which is in Batman, is New York. Look up Gotham in the dictionary. It'll tell you right in there that Gotham is in New York. I mean, it is New York. And it represents a place with foolish inhabitants. And if you go back and you think about Batman, yeah, it was kind of crazy out there in Gotham, to say the least. Now, I'm going there because I wanted to bring you back to Raincoat. Remember I told you the Yarmouk? See, I know y'all like, where is she? She just all over the place with this story. But all these pieces go together, okay? They all link together. Remember I told you that the little Yarmouk skull cap, Golgotha cap, is a Yiddish, it's Yiddish for raincoat. And when you look up raincoat or rain, and see, I look up raincoat, then I break it down further and look up rain, then coat, and then I look in the brackets and I look up whatever it says there. See, so a lot of stuff I piece together, and when you look, you may not see it the way I saw it because you didn't look at everything I looked at to get where I'm getting. But raincoat, I gotta come back to God. Don't let me forget to drop that on you. So see, y'all, or we, are dying out here because of this stuff. Because we just don't get it. We gonna get it today. And whatever you don't get when you leave here, I bet half the time when people, see, because my sisters will tell you, I got a few sisters sitting out in the audience, they'll tell you, now when they hear certain things, they go grab dictionaries. You know what I mean? You better just talk to them and tell them stuff, but it's like, wait a minute, hold on, let me look that up. And that's what we better get. You know, almost anything somebody says to you, you need to be grabbing the dictionary. Because usually, what they saying is not what you think they saying. Especially when you're in trouble, like in a Now, raincoat is what I got under raincoat. Now, I'm coming back to these German wearing, Yiddish Yarmulke wearing people. Rain, R-E-I-N, which came from R-A-I-N, is any means of curbing, controlling, or directing. It's to curb, restrain, and control. It's to rein an animal, to obey the reins and hold back. Is that what's happening to my people? So, you got these people that letting you know, based on what they got on their head. If you look up what they got on their head, they telling you, it is our duty and responsibility to control you, contain, constrain, and hold you back, and keep you a debtor in hell so we can keep holding on to your treasure. Now it belongs to the king and not you lords of liberty, because y'all don't know you own it. You don't know you got it. And we hit it through the special words because y'all don't know about terminology. We're learning it today though. Now, when you come from rain, you look up the other rain. This takes you back to the king. You look up both of these. You look up this, it'll give you this. You look up this.